I've heard there was a secret court where they judged what you just bought. You don't really...
Right, yeah, they're one of those dumb ideas that you say out loud when you're drunk, and then other people say, that'd be a good idea, and you say, oh shit, when you sober up. Right, this is my Grand Seiko SBGE001. This particular one's some years old, I think. I'll tell you how old when I get the papers out of the box. It's been recently replaced as a model by the 201, which has lost the Seiko branding and gained the Grand Seiko branding. Seiko trying to differentiate between the levels of its watches, I guess. Oh, hang on, I knew there was something that I meant to do. There you go. This is genuinely the kind of watch that you wear if you're the kind of person who drinks San Miguel out of a wine glass stolen from an Italian restaurant. It's not a small watch. It's 44mm across, nearly 15mm thick, and lug to lug is 50mm, so it's quite a size. It's although it doesn't really wear that big. It doesn't wear as big as my Panerai, and if I get any kind of reception to this, I'll do another video at some point with my stupid Panerai. It's a reasonable sized watch, and it goes on my 7.5-inch wrist quite well, I think. It's on a NATO at the moment, what's this? It's a crown and buckle single pass pearl chevron, they call it, I think. You gonna focus? You gonna focus? There you go, you're focused. So it doesn't look terrible on my wrist, especially with the NATO taking away some of the weight of the watch. It's got 21mm lugs because, of course, thank you Seiko, which makes it a little bit of a pain in the butt to find straps for, especially if you work with leather straps. If you work on a NATO, this crown and buckle NATO is 22mm, and it fits just fine with a little bit of squeezing. There are a lot of things that people will hate about it, I imagine. The crown at 4, which I quite like, but the date at 4, that gives some people hives and conniptions. The power reserve at between 8 and 9 o'clock down there, which also runs the needle down towards the bottom for full, which seems back-asswards. It's also slightly mushroom rigged in that it's thicker at the top than it is at the bottom. It's wider near the crystal than it is near the strap. Which some people, I guess, will take offence at. Hello, Jingle Jangle. Psst, psst. Come over here, puss. Come say hi. There you go. Hang on a minute. Seems like a good opportunity for... Right, shoot. There's a lot to like about it. It's a proper GMT, and by proper GMT I mean it's a traveller's GMT. Unscrew the crown. Screw down crown means that it's... fucking camera's not focusing, is it? There you go. Screw down crown gives it a 200-metre water resistance. It can be hand wound. Pull the crown up to the first step, and there you go. You're moving between time zones like a boss. Pull it out to the second position, and you can adjust the time and hack the seconds hand and move the red GMT hand. You've also got probably the most distinctive feature of this particular watch, and the 201, is the sapphire bezel. The bezel has a clear sapphire coating over the outside of it, and underneath that is a luminous set of numerals and an arrow. It's bidirectional and frictional, and there are 6 turns between every 5-minute marker, which sounds, again, back-asswards, but it means that you can set to the nearest hour on your bezel. So if I click it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This particular one, I think the bezel is out a fucking bull's hair, which gets on my nerves a little bit, and I'll get it dealt with. I was going to get it dealt with this summer when I went back to the UK and got it serviced, but I guess I'll live with it for the moment. It's anti-magnetic for what it's worth. I actually do sometimes work in a science lab, and I guess it gives me a little bit of assurance. It's nowhere near the mil-Gauss or the new Omega ones, but it'll do. It's 60 Gauss or 4800 amp meters. if you're interested in this kind of stuff, this is the full package. I guess this is the box, outer box, inner box, rice paper insert for the all the bump. The bracelet is actually not a bad piece of work. The bracelet is steel like the watch, and screw pins rather than pins and collars, but it is one of the ones where you need a screwdriver for both sides at the same time and a third hand to hold your second screwdriver and a fourth hand to scratch the back of your head because it's getting on your nerves. There is no micro adjust on the bracelet, which is another bit of a Seiko genius spot, but you can see that there are some 2/3 size links, so you get two 2/3 size links with the bracelet, so you can adjust it in increments of a third of a link. Which makes it fine. There are a couple of other things that people will hate, probably. You know, there's a... there you go, excuse me, the Hot Wheels car there. How many fonts are on the dial? Is it 5? I think it's 5. And some people will find that annoying, I imagine. It's a big dial, so you've got space for it, so it's not a massive problem. It doesn't get on my nerves. It's also signed 3 different ways. You've got a Seiko, you've got Grand Seiko, and GS on the dial. So I guess that is something that Seiko's addressed with the redesign to make it the 201. And honestly, I think that's probably about it in terms of the cons. It's a super watch. It's a really, really very good watch. It's a candidate for the only watch that you would ever need. It's the perfect traveller's watch for me. You throw it on NATO, it's 200 metres water resistant, you never have to take it off, you can wear it in the shower, you're not going to leave it on some stranger's bedside table, and you're not going to get mugged for it because it's a Seiko. I don't know if I can get around to showing you what the loom looks like. I'll see if I can try. Shut the cat out. Close the curtains a bit. And maybe you'll get an idea, and maybe you won't. But the loom on the dial and the hands looks dog shit from there. But I give it a little bit of a blast with the torch, and it'll give you an idea of what it's like. Certainly the loom lasts all night, and you can read it in the middle of the night when the cat jumps on your chest and goes meow because I haven't got any food. Like I said, it's a grand traveller's watch. I used to do much more travelling than I do now, but I like the idea of a single watch that you can wear and not have to take off for any reasons. I like it. It's a good watch.